Hey folks, Doug Blake with Body Design University. In this video, I want to talk to you about tricep training. Now, I'm not going to give you one specific exercise to do. I want to talk to you about one of the main problems that you may be facing when you're training your triceps and obviously with your clients. So really, for the most part, this video is really going to be about I would say probably the one main reason why your clients are feeling pain in the elbow when they're doing tricep exercises. Now, outside of some other injury they might have sustained for whatever reason, even doing other compound movements like chest press, things like that, as long as that's not the issue, direct training for the tricep, and there's any number of exercises you can be doing. Most are really good. There is generally going to be one issue, and I want to go over that with you because over the years, if I've heard anything incorrect more times than not, it's always about range of motion. And with some muscle groups that you train, the range of motion could be an issue, might not be that big of an issue. I mean, it's always going to be an issue, but for certain muscles and certain exercises, sometimes range of motion is not that big of an issue, meaning from a injury perspective. But with the triceps, it can be a problem. And the key issue with the triceps when you're training, I don't care if you're doing overhead tricep extensions, they call them skull crushes, right? Lying tricep extensions with a dumbbell or a barbell, kickbacks. It doesn't matter what tricep exercise you're doing. It's because of the biomechanics, the way the elbow works through extension, right? Because that's what the triceps do. They extend the elbow. The issue is going to be how much you stretch the tricep. So the range of motion here is going from the positive, right, or the peak contraction, and then extending or lengthening the tricep, which obviously means that you're moving through elbow flexion, right? So if I'm doing push downs, I extend the elbow, right? But then what happens when I go through my negative component of the movement? I am now flexing the elbow, right? Remember, flexion extension is kinesiology. It has nothing to do with the muscles themselves. It's just a skeletal movement. So when I'm training my tricep, the concentric component of a tricep movement is going to extend the elbow. So if my tricep is working and it's shortening through the concentric movement, it's extending the elbow. When my tricep is moving through its eccentric component of the contraction, eccentric contraction, it is going through flexion. It is maintaining tension as the elbow flexes. Okay, so the angle obviously decreases. That's flexion at the elbow. Don't think about the bicep. No, it's the tricep. So when I do push downs, as I let the weight back up, my tricep is going through an eccentric contraction, but the elbow is flexing. Now, this is where the problem is, and the whole point of this video is to help you to understand. One of the biggest problems you're going to face is overextending the tricep. And this is generally where you're going to get the pain. I see this all the time with the way people do their overhead tricep extensions. I remember when I first started training, I was told to keep my elbows tucked into my head. Boy, that was about the dumbest thing that anybody could have said to anybody if they know even this little bit about biomechanics. It's absolutely the worst thing that you can do to your triceps. The other thing you may have heard, which I always heard, was not only keep your elbows tucked into your head, but keep them back behind you. So in here and way back here, and you'll get a better. Boy, that's about number two, the dumbest thing that you can do if you know anything about biomechanics. Now, this is where, for the most part, weightlifters go wrong. And for sure, this is where personal trainers go wrong with their clients. And by the way, I just use the overhead. That's one of the most dangerous ways to perform a tricep exercise because you're lengthening the tricep. Not only are you going to be lengthening it from the distal aspect of the muscle, but where the insertion is, the proximal component, the proximal area of the tricep is also being stretched. So the tricep is being lengthened and stretched, not only when you're moving it through its range of motion at the elbow, but you're already starting in a pre-lengthened position, because when I lift my arm up over my head, the long head, particularly of the tricep, which attaches over the shoulder joint into the scapula, That's also being lengthened. So now I'm putting an inordinate level of lengthening stress onto the tricep, which makes it even more problematic at the elbow. So this idea that you keep your elbow tucked in and back behind you is literally the opposite of what you want to be doing. And that's just pure biomechanics, and the science behind that is really pretty straightforward. No, in fact, the issue you're going to face is going too far down. You don't want to do that. In fact, what you want to do, and this is the point of the video, is when you're doing tricep exercises, be very careful how far you go down on your range of motion through that extended, through the flexion of the elbow, when the elbow is trying to now stretch, or excuse me, the tricep is lengthening and stretching. It is simply, not only is it not necessary, but it's actually potentially very dangerous at the elbow to try and go all the way down, far back. And I know what some of you are saying, oh, but I got to get that stretch. I got to get the, full range of motion. Folks, all you got to do is watch any of the other videos that I've done on range of motion. It's not about what the skeletal system is able to move through. It's about what the muscles can handle safely. So stop letting that dumbbell all the way down behind you and pulling your elbow back this way because you think you're getting more work done on your tricep. Actually, you are a little bit, but at the expense of the elbow joint, the integrity of the elbow joint, particularly the tendon associated with the tricep that crosses over the elbow. So the range of motion issue here with a tricep exercise, and by the way, it's not just this exercise, overhead tricep extensions, it's also when you're doing skull crushers. By the way, I know guys that will do it, folks that'll do it, and they'll let the bar all the way down and back. You see what just happened? See what the problem is that as I flex, let me go this way, as I flex the elbow and my tricep gets lengthened, there's actually a point where it becomes potentially dangerous on the tendon of the tricep itself. Be very, very careful how you do these exercises with your clients. Again, if you're a weightlifter and you've been doing this for years, you've strengthened the muscle, you've strengthened and thickened the tendon. You may not feel it as much, but for the average client who does not have that same level of soft tissue integrity, right, or tendon integrity as a experienced weightlifter does, it could be problematic. And that's one of the reasons why you're feeling that pain in the elbow, and it would be back behind, right where the tricep is, right into the elbow or the olecranon process. So that position right there, positioning of the wrist, all of these become factors when we're talking about proper technique for doing tricep exercises. But the main one is this extended range of motion where you are putting the elbow into this flex position and trying to get as much lengthening of the tricep as possible. Biomechanically, you start to lose some of the efficiency of how the tricep works over the elbow joint. So just be careful when you're going through the eccentric or the negative part of the tricep exercise that you don't go so far that you put inordinate amount of stress on it. And that's what you want to be considering when you're doing tricep training. If this is helpful, type the word understand in the comments section. If you want to become a certified, qualified personal trainer, go ahead and click on the link in the description box below as well. Remember, every Wednesday night, we do a live weekly exam study. We use Quizlet, create this thing called Quizlet Live, and 30 minutes, 6 to 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Remember to head over to the Facebook group if you have not been over there. And as always, again, subscribe, like, and share. It's very, very helpful. Just let us know how we can be of assistance and leave your comments in that comment section below on this or any other video that we do. Have a great week. We'll see you. Bye.